Hello, good morning. It's Friday. Shake your bums, everybody. It is Friday. We made it to another end of the week of lockdown, semi-lockdown, any lockdown. Like, how are you guys doing out there? I'm currently in Preston on the wrong side of the river. So we are social bubbling and all that kind of stuff over here. How are you guys doing? Good morning, Diane Ivory. First past post this morning. Welcome to our showing up special this Friday. Yes, Friday feels to one and all. Shake your bums. How are we doing? I'm doing good this morning. Again, I need to work out what's going on with the waking up thing. We need Tracy Hannigan back in the house, don't we, to talk to us about it's been a slog getting up. I think it's because it's so hot. Good morning, Emma Roscoe. How are you doing? How are we doing, my darlings? Come on, get up in here for a Friday cuddle. Linda Reynolds. Hello, my angel. How are you? Excuse me. So yes, we have a showing up special this morning, you guys. So we celebrated last Friday 100 shows. So that was us showing up, rising up and wising up together for 20 weeks. Absolutely insane. And we had a little bit of a celebration then. Wallace did us a bit of a celebration video, but it got me to thinking, it hasn't just been us. It has not just been us showing up and rising up and wising up together. There have been loads of people out there throughout this lockdown period who have shown up for their audiences, who have shown up for themselves. And last week, I put a shout out to my Facebook and into the Hive. And I was asking, who have your superstars of showing up been through the whole of lockdown? And loads of you put forward loads and loads of different people. And so what I thought we would do instead of having just one person on is have like a conveyor belt of awesome on a celebratory show today. So I had 5 people queued up for you today. 2 have dropped at the last minute, which is cool. It's fine. But I still have 3 incredible super people that are joining us, incredible human beings that are joining us this morning so that we can celebrate them. So this morning we have the gorgeous Kerry Layton joining us. We have the fantastic Sam Adams joining us, and also Ruth Lloyd Williams is going to be joining us from Network She. So I am absolutely thrilled to be welcoming all 3 onto the show. They're each going to have a little segment, sort of 10-15 minutes each, while we talk about how they've been showing up. So what I would love you to do is give this show a little share, give it some love, and make sure that you are giving our guests this morning a little bit extra love, because they have been slogging it and rising up with the rest of us all the way through lockdown. Good morning, Bavna. Hello, my angel. How are you? Welcome to the show at Wise Up Show. I am your host, Danny Wallace, and I am the Queen Bee, which I know is quite a bold statement, but it does mean that you are the Queen Bee or the King Bee or the Royal Bee too. I don't know if you noticed, but yesterday on my personal profile, Danny Wallace, which if you are not a friend, I think I'm at like friend capacity because I'm a people collector, but you can follow my personal profile and you can see different shout outs that I do on there and all different things that I get up to. I put a shout out yesterday. We are booked up on the show until mid-October, at which point I really want to start curating our lineups. And the reason why I want to start curating our lineups is because what's happened so far, and again, this is all organically kind of growing, is that I'll do a shout out and go, I've got some spots to fill, I'll put the link up, and then everybody kind of jumps on. The difficulty with that is that some weeks aren't as diverse as I would intend them to be for the show. And as such, what I want to make sure is that we are representing and having as many different conversations with as many different people as possible. You know, I don't want to be saying the same thing all the time. You know, we're getting loads of lovely mindset coaches coming through, but I want to be talking about other issues as well. I want to be talking about mental health. I want to be talking about LGBTQ plus situations. I want to be talking about the issues that really matter to you guys and the issues that are on the table on a broader scale as well. So what I did yesterday is I shouted out so that we can lift up more, particularly women of colour and also members of the LGBTQ plus community, just so that I can get as many people on my radar as possible, so that when mid-October comes, I can start to really curate some super interesting conversations. Not that the conversations between now and the end of October aren't going to be super interesting. They are, I assure you, but we'll start to be kind of putting the jigsaw together in more of a conscious way. And that's right and proper for something that is going out to over, a couple of thousand people every morning. So what are your thoughts on that? Let me know. Get tagging people into the comments if you think that they're interesting stories, inspirational stories, or if they are advocates for particular issues. Please pop them in the comments. Let them know that we are here, and let them know that there is a platform here for us to have really safe and friendly and loving discussions about the subjects on the table. What say you to that? Let me know in the comments. I think it's timely. I think it's, as this show kind of grows, and it is growing, they're the things that we need to be thinking about. Also, what we need to be thinking about is, of course, the weather. What is happening where you are? What is happening? Tell me. Bobby read outside the window. We're a little bit overcast today this morning. I'm going to go for an it's a bit shit. It may clear up a little bit later on. It has been redders all week, hasn't it? It has been absolutely scorching on, maybe uncomfortably so. Who's had a little whinge about the weather? Let me know. Who's been too hot? Wallace has been too hot. He is. So Wallace is like this big cuddly teddy bear. Most of you know him. And he does not fare well in heat like this. He has been sweating cobs. He has been sleeping downstairs with a Beyonce fan on him. He made it to bed last night, which was quite nice. My husband in bed with me. But yeah, tell me what the weather is doing where you are. How have you found the heat? Are you looking forward to some more thunderstorms to kind of break the humidity? How are you feeling about it all? I'm not a weather girl. I'm not a weather woman, a weather person, a weather human. I don't know what we call them. It's a bit shit over in the Norfolk area too. Oh, it's a bit shit bees are coming out to play this morning. There we go, Norfolk. Having it's a bit shit bee there. What is going on? Let me know as well where you're watching from in the UK or even globally. If you're watching globally, we often get people watching from around the world. We have Austria, Italy, Las Vegas often come in and bob their heads in. We get people from all over the world watching. We've got misty and wet in the northeast. I'll give you a little rainy bee. Sorry, southeast. We'll pop you in the south. Is that southeasterly enough for you there, Tina? We'll pop you there. You're definitely in the southeast of the map. But if you are watching globally, please let us know. We shall represent you up here underneath the bee. It is cool and cloudy in Rugby. So we're going to get an it's a bit shit bee on the go for the Rugby area, sort of smack bang on the Welsh coast and the Watford Gap. Anywhere above the Watford Gap is, of course, up north. All right, there we go. So that is the introduction to the show. That is where we're going. How are we all feeling? Did anybody see my stories yesterday on Instagram? Ivy was furious with us yesterday. Those of you that are friends of the show know that Ivy likes to come and bob her head in and come and say hello. Ivy's my 4-year-old. She has spent the most of lockdown in her knickers and not much else. And also she has been teaching herself, God bless her, how to meditate. So yesterday, I think that she's been watching something on YouTube, and they've been talking about mindfulness, which I am down for. It's better than some of the things that come up on YouTube. But yesterday, it was super hot and it was lovely and sunny outside. And she was like, I want to go out, Mummy, I want to go out. I was like, I can't, I've got work to do today. It's a Thursday. We've got the work to do. At the weekend, I'm taking all weekend off. They're going away with the dad. With Wallace is taking them away for a couple of days so that I can get my book written Sunday through till Wednesday. I was like, we can't go out today. She was furious. You can imagine it was 4-year-old fury that she was experiencing. And she took herself off to the bottom of the driveway to go and meditate. And we caught a little picture of her sat at the bottom of the driveway, taking her deep breaths and getting herself centered. It was glorious and really ridiculously cute. And I wanted to punch her in the face. She was that cute. Not that I would, so please don't call anybody. Does anybody get that about their kids, particularly small ones? You just want to kind of squeeze them or drop kick them or something like that. It's not a real anger thing or a vicious thing. It's more like I want to bite her cheeks sometimes. And that is exactly how Shabby feels. She took herself off to the bottom of the driveway. She got herself all mindful. Her little hands come out like this. I just peeked through the blinds. I took a little picture of her. Of course, I put it on I put it on my stories. But yeah, we were giving Ivy some love yesterday. She was reminding us to be a little bit mindful and get a little bit centered, particularly when we're feeling a bit pissed off. And it's exactly what she did. I feel like I'm winning at parenting. It didn't come from me. Please don't think that it did. I think it came from YouTube. All right. But there we go. That's my little story for you today. Be more Ivy. If things are getting on top of you, if things are overwhelming, step off, step back, have a breathe, sit on the bottom of your driveway and have a little meditate. All right. So we've got 3 incredible guests for you this morning. 3 completely different stories, 3 completely different ways that these people have been showing up, and all of them have been nominated by you guys to come onto the show and come and share our showing up special this morning. So instead of having like an hour of one story, we're going to get 3 stories and 3 incredible people, all of which you can go and hang out and spend some further time with as well. People that I know, like, trust and love, are people that I am honored to be able to share with you. All right, so we're going to start out with our first guest this morning. She is new to the show, and I think we don't just have one guest, we have 2 guests in one go, because I can see a puppy sat on her knee. We have got the glorious, the supremely talented vocalist and performer, Kerry Layton. Good morning.
What an introduction. Hi there.
Hello, you look beautiful. You both look beautiful.
Thanks. Well,
we are fans.
I have put a little flower in my hair, especially for
just for a bit of zhuzh.
For a bit of zhuzh, exactly. It was made up for the coffee I haven't had yet.
Oh, did you not get a chance? She sent me a quick voice note. She was like, Danny, I'm just going to go get some dog food because I need to feed the dog. And I also could do with making a coffee. I was like, we're on at 10 past. Did you not get your coffee?
No, coffee hasn't happened, but I've treated myself to like an orange juice.
That's a proper orange juice. That's a milkman orange juice.
It's a milkman orange juice, yeah. I know. Well, that's the one thing about living in the centre of Hipsterville in Hackney, is that it's all a bit back in time.
I love it. I love it. And it lends itself beautifully to your style as well, isn't it? Because you've got a whole vintage thing going on. Lady after my own heart.
I know. Well, same. You know, we met at that Will Manifest, didn't we? And I've been a big fan ever since. So yeah, we're like we're cut from the same cloth, aren't we?
We are. We absolutely are. So Kerry, tell us about what you've been doing over lockdown, because you were nominated by our mutual friend, the incredible Joe Swan from Chocolate PR, who has seen you and just been in awe of the things that you've been doing throughout lockdown to pivot your business. Because like me, the whole singing thing stopped happening as soon we were the first people to be kind of affected, I guess, by the whole lockdown situation. The whole of the events industry stopped. The whole of the events industry has continued to stop, and it's dire times for the events industry.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. I mean, my company, when I met you, it's so mad how fast it changed, because when I met you at Will Manifest, we literally, I think by the Wednesday the next week, all our work had been cancelled for the whole year. And we lost everything. So that my normal business, I'm a singer and I run an agency and a fledgling record label. You know, it's in its very early stages, and it's our 3rd birthday today. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Happy birthday! Happy business birthday! I love a business birthday.
Yeah, business birthday. We're going to be celebrating for the whole of September, probably the whole autumn. Actually, we'll do a whole season of celebrations. But so we lost all of our work. So I really plummeted into a bit of grief, you know, which I think a lot of people did, and struggled with that. But then I just did loads of like Ivy, I got centered and I did lots of meditation. I mean, I drank a lot of wine as well, but I did a lot of meditation. And what really came forward was kind of teaching, because what a lot of my peers are doing, a lot of the acts that we work with, and a lot of my fellow musicians, a lot of people were just like, okay, well, we'll just wait, or we'll fully go online with the music, sort of thing. And for me, like, that for me wasn't right. And I did also want to do something that was like just for lockdown. You know, I wanted to do a bit of a bigger mission, so I had to really connect with,
like, a pivot.
Yeah,
for want of a better word, even though it was bandied around quite a lot, like pivot. We were sick of hearing the word, but it was a necessity for a lot of us. It was an absolute necessity.
if you're an entrepreneur and you've got an entrepreneur mind and you're creative, you know, and also like you're, I think very much like me, like I don't do things by halves.
No.
I cannot just go, oh, I'll just do this for a bit. Like I'm all in, you know, and very single-minded. And so I knew, and also not knowing when the event industry comes back. And in fact, we're not booking any gigs now until next year, like 2021. I'm off,
same.
you know, we're just going to get a really big campaign together. So I got really connected to like, what was I really good at? What had I done before? Because I didn't want to really go and retrain. At first I was like, oh, I'll be a copywriter. I'll do some social media marketing, you know.
Yeah.
And I just thought, no, actually, like I'm a people person. I can't be stuck writing behind a desk, as romantic as that sounds, you know.
It sounds romantic. It is not glamorous at all. I've been sat here all week with my ear defenders on, trying to write copy for my website in readiness to start writing my book, which I started today, which is just, I'm scared.
Oh, you'll do it just bit by bit. But it is hard work with people. We're people, you know. And I think something like that is not, we vibe. We absolutely, like, you know, like you always say, the performance is only as good as the audience, you know. And you can't, like, the audience are equally responsible for how good the show is, you know. And we feed off people's energies. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, what am I good at? How can I kind of like serve with my skills that I don't need to retrain in, and how can I kind of make things better right now? And just came out. I mean, I was a drama teacher, but I'm a trained youth worker. I trained in Russia randomly to be a youth worker, which is like a very random.
What a place.
Yeah, it was totally mental. And I was a youth as well. I was young myself. And we came back and we ran all these youth workshops across Lancashire, Preston, actually did loads of stuff there. And then I went on and became a performer, became a drama teacher. So I kind of really just went back to the real core of it. And it just flowed from there. And I set up an online academy. It was called the Vintage Performing Arts Academy. This was like end of April. I've changed the name now to Retro Performing Arts Company. So it's, you know, it's just like changing it into it. But the idea was to create an online set of resources for families to make shows in their own home. And I just and it's been amazing, Danny. And I was like, because on lockdown I really felt to myself, right, what would I do, because I'm a single lady, if I had a family and we were on lockdown together and I had like some kids and I had my husband, do you know what I mean? And we were like at lockdown at home. I'd be like, the way that I would deal with this would be to have a project which we all did a bit of every day, or when we felt to keep that, like, it's healing, it's cathartic, you know, and to keep a level of transformation going, or just like
doing something,
doing something, simply just doing something, but as a way of dealing with trauma as well. It's so healthy. So, you know, it's a healthy way of combating stress and anxiety and stuff. So anyway, I just did it, and I was like, right, I'm going to do this. And my coach at the time, Alex Emerson, like, if she's watching this, Alex, you were amazing, because she was my coach for the agency, and we were like, oh my gosh, holy cow, you know, what we're going to do. And, you know, she'd never done what I was doing before, but she held my hand throughout all of it. And really, you know, without her, I don't think I really would have kind of done what I did, because she was just like, you can do this, you can do this, you can.
You just need a cheerleader sometimes, don't you? You just need somebody to just give you that push through the turnstile onto the roller coaster.
Yeah,
definitely. Absolutely.
You can't do it all on your own, you know. And like, going onto the online space, you know, it's like you're showing up in a different way, and you're you know, and it's quite nerve-wracking. So she was really great. And so I set up the Vintage Performing Arts Academy. We set up a Facebook group, and I invested money in the ads to kind of get people into the group. And then we just met loads of families across the UK, and now I've got my sort of like regular class. So we ran a 6-week course, a vintage variety show course. So I had like make your own show. So we did 6 weeks, and it was quite intensive. You know, the kids got workbooks, pre-recorded videos. We did live sessions, drama lessons online.
That's quite a lot to pull together in such a short space of time. Like, I'm pulling together my DIY course that people will be able to go onto my website and go and do, but it takes a lot of, so well done for pulling all that together in that short space of time. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it was like I knew what I wanted to do and I'd mapped the course out, but I was kind of making it as well so I could tailor it to the children. And I honestly feel like it's been the steepest learning curve of my entire life, but I've done it.
You do the best with your back against the wall, though, right?
Yeah.
You do your best learning when you've got no choice. All right, we're going.
Yeah, you've just got to do it. Exactly. And there's no there's it's almost like the failure that there was no fear of failure, because I was like, if something didn't work in the course, it was like I was able to respond really on my feet with the children that were on it and tweak everything. So in the course of 6 weeks, we'd written and produced a whole show with a bunch of children, and it was amazing. We had a breakdancing monkey.
Stop it. I love it.
Oh no, it was amazing. Like we made their own. They made their own poster. I did a creative graphic design session with them where we named our own show, and one of the little girls, she's only 8, and she said, "Oh, there's 8 of us. How about the hilarious hexagon?" And I was like, "Oh gosh!" So we called our show the Hilarious Hexagon.
Amazing. Oh God. And it's like you say, this forward motion, right at the beginning of lockdown, there was no forward motion for anybody. It was just everything stopped. The doors shut, everything like kind of stopped. And we are beings in order to keep our minds going, we need to be in that forward motion. So to allow space for families to engage in that creation of something, that achievement of something during that time, because again, like with schools, the kids are always working towards something, whether we like that or not as parents, they're always working towards something, a test or an event or something, they're always working towards something. So then to just have that all stop, to be able to provide a space for families to come together and have that forward motion, but even from a mental health perspective, must be so incredible for those families. It's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So what's happening next for you?
Well, we're sort of halfway through the summer school now. So when we finished that, I got straight back on it, and I was like,
of course you did.
Classic entrepreneurial ambition. I was like, right, well, I'm going to do a summer school now. And I drafted in sort of friends of mine from various parts of the industry. So we got Kiki DeVille, amazing. Mama
I
Kiki.
love Keeks. Oh, yeah, she's one of my darlings. I love her.
She's amazing, isn't she?
She's wonderful.
She's been really supportive as well, because I tell you what, my ambition sometimes can get the better of me. But, part of being an entrepreneur is, I suppose, first admitting that and also still going for it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And having that and going, yeah. So Kiki's been incredibly supportive.
What a queen to have in your corner.
I know. And so she's now kind of like officially our singing teacher. So I'm the drama teacher. Kiki's a teacher, and then we've got some dancers from the West End doing a Hamilton dance workshop.
Stop it, I'm coming. I'm coming to it. Sign me up.
Well, you know what, it's for children, but I think I'm gonna,
God's sake,
I'm gonna open it for everyone, and I'm just gonna probably like reduce the ticket fee and get everyone in it, as many people as we can, to just come and enjoy the work and just. So that's what's going on at the moment, and then that ends, and I'm going to have a holiday. In fact, I might have a holiday while it's winding down. I really need a couple of weeks off now. I'm like,
do a holiday, yes.
But then we're going to go into. Dixie Bird Records is coming back. September is our birthday month, so we're celebrating. We've got a Kickstarter campaign starting, which hopefully we're going to get that 50% funding from the government for London.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
So we're applying for that at the moment, and because if we can support our musicians as well, and just even get all the charts made for next year, and if people are having their weddings next year can put money in a pot, and the band bank, as I'm calling it, and band bank for next year, and so we're working out all that at the moment. But with the school, how I see it, because it's not going anywhere, we've made it now, it's
it's there, absolutely.
Well, it's amazing with the children. So there is something exciting, and I can't say too much, but I did just have.
Oh, I love it! And you just come back with an exclusive when you can.
Yeah, well, I think we should definitely do that, because there's a top secret project, which is I've written a 10-part show basically, and
Amazing.
it's I can't say any more than that. But
Don't say any more. Don't come back to us with an exclusive. You heard it here first. There's something coming. Yeah. Kerry Layton's going to come back on the show and tell us more about it when she's able. We need to sign like the NDAs and everything in the first instance.
Absolutely, yeah, I'd love to.
Well, Kerry, we've run out of time, so we've got another couple of guests on the show this morning.
Yeah, just before I go, look.
Yeah,
I've got a little crown as well. Look.
Oh, I love it.
So I'm the drama queen.
Oh, I love it. I spotted that in the background. I need myself one of them for the new house.
You should have both got our crowns on, right?
It's been an absolute joy. Thank you so much. Please do come back onto the show where we'll do a proper full show and talk more about what you do and how you came to what you do. Well done for showing up. Thank you. We celebrate and honour Kerry Layton this morning for showing up on our Showing Up show. You are amazing. Thank you, my angel. That was Kerry Layton, everybody. Kerry, if you're still in the background just there, make sure you pop the links to anything that you have that we can come and follow and get amongst what you're doing. And we're going to move on to our next guest this morning. Now, this next guest is a friend of the show already. She's already been on, coming on to talk about talking about mindset and talking about all the wonderful work that she does. And this particular segment, we're going to be talking about showing up through difficult times. She is absolutely gorgeous. She's such an incredible powerhouse for her community and her wider community. Please welcome to the show the gorgeous Sam Adams. Good morning, my love.
Good morning. Good morning. I was worried then. I was thinking, is she talking about me? Is there someone else waiting in the wings?
Who else is this? Who is this person she's talking about saying all the nice things?
Who is this?
Honestly, I've said this to you. Like, I love bringing my friends onto the show. I get to say all the best things about them. It makes me so happy.
I'm lapping it up. I'm lapping it up.
And that's it. Just take it, sis. Just take it.
I'm taking it. It's Friday. I'm tired. I'll take it.
Yes. Well, hopefully, you know, this is a bit of a lift because Sam Adams, today we are celebrating you. You were not only nominated, but one of my first. You're frozen. No, you're there. I've got you. So not only were you nominated as one of the leading lights. One of the leading lights that's been showing up throughout lockdown for, I mean, your community and of course the people that come across you. You were my first thought when I thought about this show. What I wanted to do this morning is celebrate the people that have been there for their communities, despite the things that they've been going through. And the last few weeks have been tough, haven't they, Sweet? It's been an experience, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a tough 12 months. I'm not going to lie. But the last 5 weeks or so been really tough. My dad passed away sadly. The 21st of July, and that's been really, really tough. So and we had sort of 12 days prior to that, which he was really unwell. So I was actually staying with my dad in his bed with him while he was sedated and stuff, just because we didn't want to leave him on his own. It was very difficult for mum to be with him. So it's not been the easiest of times. Yeah,
absolutely. But the one thing that I've noticed throughout all of this is kind of you've gone through your processing of this passing of your dad and the situation with your community. So not only has it been, and I find this myself as a sharer, when you go through something and you're sharing with your audience, it becomes even more powerful. You are there then for each other, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have sort of questioned myself whether I should overshare.
I know, I've seen.
All right, okay.
No, but I see you questioning yourself. Not that I thought you have overshared. I think it's been a beautiful thing for you to have shared, such an intimate thing for you to have shared, but so helpful. Like lots of people have lost people, especially during the last 6 months. I mean, people lose people all the time, and it's something that we often shy away from, especially the process of death, especially the process of grief, especially in the immediacy. because lots of people go to ground and they hide. And what you did is that you didn't hide. In a very loving and in a very sincere and honest way, you showed up. But like even the kind of the day after, and you was like, oh, I don't know if I should be doing this. I don't know if you're going to judge me, and the love that I saw, there was part of from your community that just swelled around you during that time. It was just incredible to see.
They've been amazing. And at the end of the day, I always just think, look, people don't have to watch.
Yeah, you could scroll the fuck on.
Yeah. Jog on.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to watch. But it's very cathartic. I love to talk and help. If I could do those two things combined, which is what I do, I'm a happy bunny. And I figured that lots of people, like you said, in this recent times, but generally, anyway, freaking people dying all the time. If somebody can get one thing or a little bitty thing from something that I say and share, then that's all awesome. I've recently spoke about feeling suicidal, and I know more than one, a few people have messaged me saying, you literally saved my life, which is really, God, that really knocked me for six just hearing that. But it made me realize that I'm doing the right thing by sharing these difficult times and things that we go through. And the same with my dad. My dad's wanted to die for like 2 years. He's had cancer for 15 years. And we couldn't help him, Danny. That was one of my biggest frustrations in the last 12 months, was not being able to help my dad end his life. And so I kind of had a personal thing going on about dying with dignity and helping people die, and how, like, my dog died in February. In February, broke my freaking heart. Anyone who's got animal dogs will know I was devastated. But I got to end my dog's life. He was unwell. They could have saved him for a few more weeks, but I was like, no, that's not right. Look, you're just doing it for me. Just end. But I knew my dad was going to die, but we couldn't end my dad's life. No. And my dad couldn't end his own life. And that was his biggest frustration and our biggest frustration. I basically watched my dad's body shut down day by day by day.
That's it.
And it was just traumatizing, I would probably say. And I don't say that lightly.
There's no other way to put it. How else would you put it when your hands are tied and everyone's hands are tied, and that act of those hands being tied actually causes more pain for everybody, particularly the person that's in pain, particularly the person that is saying, I've had enough. I'm okay. I've had enough now. Thank you. And I can't think of a different word.
And the trauma was obviously knowing that you knew what was going to happen. To me, it seemed completely pointless. This is just my opinion. Some people might not agree with it or not. My dad was 87. He had a freaking good life. He had a good marriage. He was with my mum for 60 years. He was a happy, funny guy. He knew his time was up a couple of years ago, and we couldn't help him. He couldn't help himself. To watch a man who was proud, who worked from 13 years old, strong, capable man, wither away to what he felt was a burden. We never felt like that, because I'd have done.
Of course.
He just felt like a burden. His dignity had gone. He didn't want us wiping his ass, basically.
No.
He had to. And I just think that's not dying with dignity.
I get that.
It was almost like he wanted to leave, but he was forced to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. So what, throughout this time, particularly, let's say the last 12 weeks, what have been your biggest learns for both you and your community around this situation, around you sharing in this situation? Because you could have quite have easily just not shared anything, and you could have quite easily just continued showing up, but not even talk about that side of things, because we do, like, lots of people that are entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurial space will have lots of things that are happening underneath and have this kind of duality of what's going on. Everything looks lovely on top and is fabulous, and actually things are looking a bit shitty underneath. There are relationship problems, so there are problems with the kids, so there's problems with it, there's also the financial problems, but this is kind of duality that happens often with people that are in the online space. What have you learned sort of about that, about yourself, about your community during that time?
Well, what I've learned is it's okay to share. You know, it's okay to share those, because I wrote a post yesterday for my mastermind, and I wrote about failing. We look at successful people, don't we? And we think they got it all going on, celebrities or whatever. They never make a fuck up. They get it all right all the time. And they never make a mistake. And it's bollocks. You know, we all make, you know, somebody once told me, fail your way to success. And I've been looking for a new coach. I've got two, I want another one.
Why not?
All good coaches have coaches.
Learn.
Exactly. And I was looking at this guy that I'm inspired to work with. And what I loved about his website was that on one side, there was the list of all his programs, all his stuff that he'd tried that had failed. And then there was a list of the stuff that had worked. Well, the list of the failures was like huge.
Right.
And the things that had worked was tiny. And I just thought, this guy is the real deal.
That's the person.
All out there. And that's like, you know, I'm the same. I've been ripped off for 100 grand. I've lost 100 grand. So twice that's happened. But once I thought, once was, well, they're all
yeah. However you look at it.
And somebody, one of my coaches, one of the other two coaches said to me, because we were talking about how to sort of put myself out to the world. And he said, look, you're like, you deal with real life. You know, you don't come with qualifications or whatever. Your qualification is pain and it's real life.
And survival, yeah.
And that's where the real life coach came from. And my paid community is the Real Life Club. So we talk about real life stuff. We're going to bring it all to the table. You come as you are. You put it all out there. You'll be supported. You'll be encouraged. And that's what's happened for me by sharing. You know, and there's obviously always a limit, I guess. You know, you don't.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I don't want to give you the gory details about my dad or whatever.
No.
But what I mean, there is people support you. I've had so much love and support and encouragement. Like, you know, leading up to, I did a very emotional video before my dad died, and then the days after, I couldn't keep up with the messages, Danny.
I bet. But it's a testament to the community that you have created, and this is really kind of the crux of today, is that what we are celebrating today are people who have created incredible communities. And Sam, that is exactly what you've done. That's exactly what you've done, is create an incredible community. And the more I want you on this show, like, at every given opportunity, because I want so many people to get to this, like, it starts with you. It sits so, I mean, much alignment with flying anyway and choosing to fly anyway. It's a choice. It's a choice. It starts with the decisions that you make. And you could have chosen to hide during that time, go to ground, hide under your duvet. And what you didn't do is you're as you were surviving, you became a survival guide for other people around you and your community around you. And it is in that thinking that I want to celebrate you with our community today and just say, Sam Adams, you are amazing. What is coming up? What can we do to support the It Starts With You community? Like, what's going on?
It Starts With You. I've got an It Starts With You Facebook group, so you can go and find that. That's free. I have a thing called the Real Life Club, which is my membership club, and we just deal with real life shit, but I help people basically improve the quality of their life, how you know, by setting intention, objectives every day. But that's not open right now. It's only by invitation only at the moment, so you can't get in on that.
Your name's not down, you're not coming in.
Yeah, you can only come by referral or invitation.
I love it. That's how you curate a good community, though, isn't it? Like, people come into the hive all the time, and I say all the time, like, we don't accept knobheads. So, like, there's but we don't. So if we see people kicking off, or we see people being, you know, purposefully controversial or ridiculous, then there's the door, my friend. That is not the spirit in which we build this community. I think it's great.
The picture on the wall over there says, it's a Buddha, and it says, try not to be a dick. Yeah, we don't.
Perfect.
The Real Life Club. But the Real Life Club is a really awesome community of people who just want to improve the quality of their life. They want to start showing up as a true, authentic self. And I think probably one of the clear things that people have said to me recently is, Sam, I love you because you're just you. You're just authentic. And I've struggled to be me. And now I feel like I'm more me than I've ever been. Because I love that and I know how good that feels despite the pain and the trauma. I want it for everyone else.
Yeah, amazing. Sam, thank you. We've only had 10 minutes, but of course, you're welcome back on the show.
Can I just tell you about my...
Say it. Say the thing. What's this? sam-adams.com/self-made. We're going to put the link in the comments on the QB Daddy page on here.
My mastermind. Sorry, it's 6 weeks. I want to get it in really quickly. It's 6 weeks. It's limited spaces. It's 495, 6 weeks, focused, get better results. I've been in business for 20 years, so get better results, better focus. I'm going to teach you a load of shizzle. Shah Wasman's coming in to do business development. We're going to have money management in there, twice weekly Zoom sessions. It's going to be ace. And of course, plenty of energy from me.
Absolutely. I wouldn't expect anything less. Sam, you are an angel. Thank you for everything that you do, not only for your community, but for me being a part of your world as well.
I love what you do. I love your show. Thanks for having me on.
I'll see you soon, my darling. That was Sam Adams, everyone, the real life coach. What an incredible human being she is. So that was Sam Adams. She will put, for those of you that want to get into Sam's world, she's going to put her links on the comments on the Queen Bee Daddy page on this particular live. And now, I think it was a whistle stop. I'm glad that we didn't get all 5 on this morning. I'm glad that we had 3 on this morning because it wouldn't have been enough time to get through everyone. And we are signing off today with our final incredible guest. Again, a friend of mine, a huge supporter of IATQB, and the owner of one of the biggest female networks in the UK. And it is growing and growing and growing. From Network She, please welcome to the show, the indomitable, the gorgeous Ruth Lloyd Williams. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you?
I am so good. I'm so happy that you're here. I've missed you.
And you too, babe. And you, thanks so much for the invite into the hive. It's absolutely buzzing, but I do have a complaint.
Oh, go on.
In the green room, no fizz, no nibbles.
I didn't put any nibbles of fizz out in the gram. So sorry. When this becomes a TV show, we will have like a whole buffet in the green room when we have a proper telly show on the proper telly.
Fabulous. Can't wait.
So Ruth, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us for this little segment. We've already agreed that you're going to come back on for a proper show, but this particular show today is about celebrating those people during lockdown who have shown up for their communities. And as the owner of an in real life network and an online network, things could have turned out very, very differently for you and for Network She during lockdown, but you have shown up every single day for your people. There has been laughter, there have been tears, there has been learning, and it has just been a joy to, even though I can't get involved because I'm running at 1,000,000 miles an hour myself, to be able to see.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's been fantastic because, like you say, it could have been the end of the world. It could have been a real rug puller in the respect that, on the 18th of March, I ran a company called Network She, which was there supporting women professionally, personally, emotionally and socially. I also run a company that delivers education for healthcare professionals. Yeah. And I run a holiday let. So on the 19th of March, 2 of them went completely booked, and all of a sudden I've got an empty house at the bottom of an avenue. And you could have said that's the end of the world, but then you think, actually, no. This has got to be an opportunity that we're going to grasp and take and shake and make sure that we're going to be the people that have been with us for the last 13 years from when Network She started in 2007. And we've just seen so much positivity. We've seen so much support. We've seen so much generosity. It's been fantastic what people are prepared to give, whether it be time, whether it be resources, whether it be knowledge. The stuff that you're doing. Sam, blown away with what she's been doing.
She's incredible,
amazing people out there. And having to do it all through this little bubble of online has meant that we can access so much more than we would have normally done had we travelled the length and breadth of the world in the car.
This is it. We've been thrown into thinking in different ways over the past sort of 20 weeks. And it's been very interesting. I remember saying this. I remember saying this at the beginning of lockdown, and I'm going to be saying this in the coming weeks, especially when there's, talk in the media, talk in the media of recession. I'm going to be saying the same thing as I said right at the beginning. The people who consistently show up are going to be the people who survive these situations. Whether it's like at the top of COVID, where entire legs have been kicked out of businesses, or if it's at the start of a recession where people are scared of people not buying. People were scared of people not buying and people not selling right at the beginning of lockdown. And some people have gone on to make fortunes. So
Absolutely.
The people who show up are going to be the people who survive. You know, if you go to ground now out of fear, just as at the start of COVID, if you'd have gone to ground out of fear, you wouldn't be where you are now, which is in a really strong foundational position to leap forward now, right?
But not just me, it's the people that are supporting along the way as well, because the focus doesn't tend to be on what you're doing. I'm forever being told, you know, you're putting all this stuff on, you're doing all this, what's in it for you? And that's not at the forefront of my mind.
No.
My passion is supporting women and making sure that, yes, they can be there, they can be at the forefront, they can take those opportunities, they can, identify them and not see them as a fear and a failure, and then they can grasp on with them. And if they haven't got the knowledge or the experience or the understanding of certain things, we're in a position now we can source all that at the click of a button, where at one time it had been forever to do anything. And it's not just the person at the corner, it's the person at the other end of the country. I went to Hawaii on Wednesday. What a fabulous trip that was. You know, where would that opportunity ever come from without, you know, this online world that we're now living in? It's been amazing.
You went to Hawaii?
I went to Hawaii, yeah.
I was like, actually, are we allowed? Because I want to go. But we can, and we're speaking to people globally now. And like Network She, you're having the conversations. You were international in Spain, but becoming more international, it's opened up so much more scope.
Definitely. And I think, you know, we're not as scared of talking to people now. We're not scared of knocking on doors and you know, not just of you know, the people, like I said, next door, but the people that we would see in the media, the people that we see doing great stuff, you know. It's given us that opportunity to say, excuse me, but I think there's something that you can do for my community, or excuse me, but I think there's something I can do for you. So let's share that. I'm a huge, huge believer in collaboration and support. Oh, hello.
Here she is, look. Here she is. Good morning.
Hello,
go see Daddy. It's 2 more sleeps and then they're going to go and see the nanny. Right, go on. You should go to check how many sleeps it is before they get to go and see the nana. Go and see Daddy. So she makes me lose my train of thought. She's hilarious.
And that's the fantastic thing, because we're in this position now. It doesn't matter if the kids come in. It doesn't matter if the doorbell goes. You know, we've been on conferences and we've been delivering stuff when all that chaos has happened. Where, you know, 6 months ago, if you'd been put on a training course and the IT had gone down, somebody had been sacked.
Yeah, that's it.
A lot more understanding now.
That's it. Absolutely.
All sorts of sites.
Oh, all kinds of sites, like the comedy, the propensity for comedy that's gone on during this time. Like right at the very beginning, I was training a group in Amsterdam. I wasn't in Amsterdam. I was training from my living room before we did the house up. And Madam behind us came in and did the look at my butt dance. Like what? That would have got me potted, or that would have lost me a contract somewhere along the line before this situation.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
And it would be lovely to think we're going to keep that tolerance, but I don't think we will, Samantha. But there you go.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I think entrepreneurs like ourselves are going to be, I think, what pushes everything forward anyway. Like all of you out there that have got businesses, all of you out there that, you know, that are feeling that kind of fortitude right now, they're getting that resilience, they're getting that fire in the belly. Actually, you guys have got, just like we have the potential here to really like forge things forward in a really different way. And I find that really exciting. Do you, Ruth?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there's so much to look forward to. I think there's so much opportunity out there. And I think it's more now open to everybody. Whereas at one time, people would have stepped back and thought, you know, I can't do that. That's not for me.
It's not for me.
It's for the world now. The world's your oyster, and it is the size of a grapefruit. We can be anywhere in a minute talking to anybody, and we can achieve anything that we want to. Go for it.
Absolutely. And surrounding yourself with the right people is really key to that, isn't it? You know, surrounding yourself with great networks, such as your network, because your network has been incredible for IATQB. You know, we had you connected us with Kate Hardcastle for the Big Festoon, and it's just such a wonderful, supportive. You know, a few members of network she have been through my programs. I've spoken on your stages. You're such a support and such a pillar for so many people in business. Like, being that conduit is just incredible. Surrounding yourself with the people that you aspire to be like, or surrounding yourself with people that think that way, is absolutely key to being able to stay buoyant right now, isn't it?
Absolutely, because that gives you, you know, it builds your enthusiasm, it charges you up, it gets you excited.
Right.
You know, you're going to surround yourself with the people that, you know, want the success, that want to drive, want to strive, want to, you know, go forth and thrive. Don't surround yourself with that veil of negativity, because that doesn't be there. It so doesn't need to be there.
No, absolutely. So what things have you been doing throughout lockdown? How have you been showing up for your community? Because it has been super consistent.
Well, we've made sure that we're there every day, like you. We get up
every single day, aren't you?
We have a chat.
At the mothership?
Yeah, on the mothership. Well, the mothership started just before lockdown, and originally the whole idea about it was to create this little safe environment that women could come to as a bolt-on to Network She, and just ask the questions that they didn't want to ask in the outside world of social media, because it was getting a bit loud, it was getting a bit noisy, and it wasn't always very nice.
Yeah.
So we created almost like the cupboard under the stairs, really, somewhere you could go and hide in the dark and say, could you just tell me the answer to this? You help me, or whatever. And then we just thought it would grow organically and it would tick along. And then COVID kicked in, and boom. And the next thing you know, we're delivering masterclasses 3 times a week. We're doing these in-conversation interviews. We do a Women Mean Business conference, which you know, because you were our fantastic guest speaker last September.
It's
we turned
amazing.
that into a 2-online conference. And one thing we became very aware of is the whole situation around mental health and people's health and well-being, because there are women who have lived their lives with mental health issues that have coped with this, because they've got the techniques and they've got the things in place that they recognise the triggers and they can deal with it. And then you get a level of women who have experienced anxiety, but aren't quite sure what to do about it, and they're coming out of the woodwork. And then you've got this whole raft of people who have forever been strong, have never experienced anything like that at all. And all of a sudden, this whole world of insecurity, anxiety, depression, darkness has smothered them, that we realised that we also needed to concentrate on everybody's health and well-being, as well as supporting their business. So we set up a 2-day health and well-being conference. And from that now, we've developed 2 sets of academies. So there are 2 platforms there now that people can go to for business and personal development, or health and well-being support. So that's,
and the 2 are just so important to each other. You don't have a good business without having good health and well-being, or at least support with your health and well-being. It's the same with your family and your relationships. You know, your health and your wealth and your happiness are all tied up in each other.
Absolutely. And people need to know that they can ask and they can reach out, and it's not something to be ashamed of or afraid of. There's no stigma to it. It can just be something that can be dealt with so easily that will make a massive, massive difference to you, your business, and to the family that, you know, you're supporting and have to live with you every day.
Absolutely, they have to put up with me every day as I'm holed up in here like Rapunzel. So what has been, honestly, I do let down my hair. So what has been the best bit of doing this for you?
The best bit for me has been to see the level of support and the positivity and the passion that people have had, or women have had, for one another within the mothership. Somebody only has to put a little mention on and say, can anybody help me with this? And they get battered with, you know, support
all over.
You know, how do I do this? And the answer's there. Knowing that you can reach out when you're having a bad day and someone will be there to support you has been mind-blowing. It's been great to see that level of, as I said, as passion, support, resources. But that has been awesome.
Yeah,
beyond
amazing. What's been a struggle for you during this time?
The biggest, apart from dealing with Tesco's pet insurance, but that's The most difficult thing for me really has been dealing with, or not being able to deal with, the family stuff. So, for example, we weren't able to see the grandkids for a couple of months. My son's over in Australia. He went to Australia in August 2018 for a year. I haven't seen him since. We were due to go over and see him in May. I need to hug my boy, and I've not. So that was difficult. But it was my mother-in-law's 100th birthday in March. And we at the very end, just after COVID kicked in, and we were due to have the big party with family from Australia and dragging all the rallies down from the hills and stuff. And it just turned into me, my husband, our Olive, and a slice of Barrabrief. And it wasn't the day she should have had, and it will never be the day she can have again. So stuff like that. But at the end of it, you think, in balance, she's well, she's great. She is an absolute pillar, because that woman is fabulous. She's 100 years old. She still lives independently. And whenever you go and see her, she's always got a smile on her face.
Oh, fantastic. What a queen. I love it. Do you know what can what can you want for yourself? What can you want for somebody if you've got those things? There could be a far worse situation, but there is that pull, and I know that was upsetting at the time, that you have these plans and we have these plans and they get snatched from us, but our reactions dictate our outcomes. What do we do about those situations? And you shared at the time, didn't you? Again, the kind of thread throughout all of this in these really strong communities is that we share our vulnerabilities as much as we share our successes, and it is in that we find our connections.
Yeah, and that's been a bit of a surprise to me, because I'm not a big sharer of emotion.
No,
I don't come from that sort of that field. So to be able to do that was a big thing for me. But it also meant that people weren't scared to reach out then, because if they can see that you and me can have a wobble, and everybody else that's there banging the drum, well, then they've got every opportunity to do the same, and know there's a level of support there, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, because it's better out than in.
Absolutely. So tell us, Ruth, how do we get involved with Network She? If there are people that are watching us that haven't come across you before or haven't come across the network before, how do we get involved? How do we find out more about it? Obviously, other than Google's your friend with this one, but what can we do to get involved?
Right. Okay. Then obviously you've got Network She, which we've got our website there that you can find by the power of Google. We've got the Mothership, which is the Facebook group, which you can find, and knock on the door. We'll see if we'll let you in. If we like you, you're in.
Yeah. Again, it's the no-knobhead situation, isn't it?
Absolutely. And to be fair, we haven't ever had to ask anybody to leave, but there's a couple of people we haven't let in.
Right.
And the big thing for us, we've got so many opportunities there. We're going to redo the Women Mean Business Conference later in the year.
Amazing.
We've got our mastermind group, the Bodicea Boardroom, which was something again that we would normally do in a hotel environment, which is now an on-loan mastermind, which is great. We're launching the 5 to Strive course, which will be in September, which is 5 women who will be looking at 5 strategies for their business, working with myself and 4 other coaches. So that's another opportunity. And we're growing and developing stuff along the way as in response to what people ask and what people need. So we learn, we grow, we offer, and the support's there. Just come and find us. Come and knock on the door, folks.
Absolutely. Ruth, thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. I'm so excited to have you on the show for a proper show. But today we celebrate you. Today, our community is lifting you up and lifting Network She up and saying thank you for everything that you do for your community, but everything that we see you doing as well. Because for me, it's been great to see somebody else really leading from the front with their community. You are amazing, and we love you.
Thank you. Love you too. Keep doing what you're doing.
Lots of love. That was Ruth Lloyd-Williams from Network She, everybody. What 3 incredibly different stories, 3 incredible powerhouses, and that is what we are celebrating today. We are celebrating those of you that have been showing up. We are celebrating and lifting up those of you that have been there for the wider communities during this lockdown period where things have been uncertain. And really what I want you guys to think about is, right at the start of these conversations about recession or whatever, is they're the same as the conversations that were the fear-based conversations that were happening at the start of COVID. And we only survived those things by doing what these incredible humans have done today, is by remaining tenacious, remaining thinking on your feet, and also remaining there for your communities, even if you don't lead a community, but being an active member of a community. I can highly recommend this community here, the IATQB Hive, where we carry on the conversation conversation. We carry on the support. And of course, I will be in there as well, supporting you and cheering you on every step of the way through our journey together, through this crazy period of time, and of course, beyond. Thank you so much for joining us. If you don't follow me already, please make sure that you follow me across the socials, the Queen Bee Danny, where I will share what I'm getting up to over the coming weeks. Loads of exciting things are happening. Next week, we have got a super exciting week. I was going to take the week off. I was going to have a holiday. Have you heard it? I was going to take a week off next week in its entirety. But what I've done instead is I'm going to be at home. Originally, we were going to go actually on holiday, and that isn't possible anymore. Because of the house that we're saving up for and all of that sort of stuff. So what I'm doing instead is I am going to ground as of this afternoon. I'm going to ground as of this afternoon. Writing the book, getting my head in this book, getting it written and getting it submitted before the end of this month, which I'm very excited about. It's called I Am the Queen Bee, how I overcame self-sabotage to fly anyway, and how you can too. That is what this has, that is what this book is going to be called. It's going to be a series of stories and ruminations and musings of all the things that I've done to build my business and sharing those with you guys. So I'm really excited to be writing that this week. But I'm going to ground, but we still have the show because I'm at home, and I think I'll just miss it if I don't do it. So we're going to mix things up a little bit next week. I will tell you who we've got on. Where is my calendar? It is here. So let's get back to next week. Week beginning the 17th. We've got the fabulous Leona Burton joining us on Monday. We're going to have a different kind of show on Tuesday. I'm going to pre-record a show. And I'm going to put it out on Tuesday, not because I don't want to get up in the morning, but because this particular guest struggles with the time. So what we're going to do is I really want to bring him to you. We've got the incredible Asta Philpott joining us on Tuesday. So please do still show up at 9 o'clock. I will put the pre-recording out, 8 o'clock. I will put the pre-recording out at 8 o'clock. So it will just be like a normal morning. It will just be pre-recorded. You'll be able to comment along, and I will be commenting along with you. But he's going to be sharing how he has had a major part in a Hollywood movie and how he was an inspiration for a very recently released Hollywood movie called Come As You Are. So that is Asta Philpott joining us for a special pre-recorded show on Tuesday. It will still be going out at normal time. Then on Wednesday, we've got Deep Bajwa from Opulence Events, the well-heeled coach, is going to be joining us talking about all things luxury on Wednesday. On Thursday, I hope she got the memo, we've got Naomi Ella joining us talking about matrescence and what does matrescence actually mean. So it's going to be a really interesting one. And then we have the glorious Gemma May joining us on Friday. Now, Gemma May is one of my tattoo artists. She is the one that is responsible for this arm so far. She's going to be talking to us about tattooist unions, talking about sexual exploitation within the tattoo industry. Really interesting conversations to be had over the course of next week. Super, super excited to bring all those people to the table. Make sure you tune in. But in the meantime, if you follow me across the socials, keep your eye on your stories. I am going to be sharing with you the book writing process as I go through it, as a means to get me through it, as a means to sort of buoy me along. So please do have your pom-poms out ready for me over the coming days and the coming 2 weeks as we head towards submitting our manuscript for I Am the Queen Bee book, which is coming out at the end of October. Right, you guys, have an incredible day. Have an incredible weekend. Follow me, the Queen Bee Danny, on Instagram. I love you. Join the Hive, IATQB Hive. Carry on the conversation. We've got all sorts going on in there in the coming weeks as well. Co-working. We've got accountability happening in there. Really helping as many of you as possible. Steam ahead as we go on into whatever a recession looks like. I'm not really asked. We're going to keep our blinkers on. We're going to keep our eyes on the prize, and we are going to keep building, you guys. I love you. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on the flip side. I love you. Bye.